You've learned how to card fleece from raw, or rather scoured, to spinnable. But what if you want to do something different with the colors? So you've already dyed it, or maybe you bought dyed fleece and you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how you want to blend the colors. Well, in this particular bonus episode or bonus lesson, you're going to learn how to get a very thoroughly blended product from fleece that has been dyed. Hey guys, it's Kim here with Verily Fiber Fun. Thanks for joining me on Carding from Fleece class series. So I have some Tunis wool that I have already scoured, dyed, picked, everything. It's already been through the Baby Brother Carder 2 times because I ran it through very, very quickly. Tunis is a medium grade wool, and it does not require the extra teeth, the extra dense carding cloth. So I can handle abusing it a little bit. It can handle a little bit of rough handling. So I ran it through the drum carder a bunch of times, but I did it very, very quickly. The slower you go, the smoother your bat is going to be. I will join you on the other side of the intro for a voiceover lesson on how to blend colors to create a very well blended heathered fiber. Okay, so we are starting with fiber that's already been carded twice, just like in all of the other lessons where we took fleece and we carded it very carefully, except I was not careful. So in the previous lessons, when carding wool, the goal was to get as smooth and nice a prep as possible with the least amount of work. And with a coarse tooth drum carder, that is very, very difficult to do. However, we did incredibly well with that. And if you have a finer toothed, finer TPI on your drum carder than I do, it should be even easier. So, bottom line is that the coarser your carding cloth is, the more times you have to run your fiber through the drum carder. And this is especially true if you're running things through the drum carder very, very quickly. So that is the case. But back to what I'm doing. So I'm taking all the different colors that I originally had, which were pre-carded twice very quickly and messily, kind of like carding it just once. And I am laying them on the drum, feeding them onto the drum, a thin layer at a time. I am not terribly worried about the fiber getting damaged in the drum carder because this is Tunis, and Tunis is a fairly tough fiber. It can handle quite a lot. It's bouncy, it's toothy, it's a delight to work with. It really is. So it can handle a bit of abuse. If I was doing this with Cormo, I would have done things totally different. And I will get to that in just a moment. An explanation of how I would have done that. For this Tunis, I have multiple colors, as you can see in the right hand side of your screen, and I want them to become one homogeneous color. Now, that's impossible because you're starting with different colors, each fiber a different color, but you can get pretty darn close, and that's what I'm going for. So the key is very thin, very small layers, one on top of another. And that sets you up for further blending. if you're wanting to card stripes, you would want to layer your colors thicker because you want them to stay separate. But we're not doing stripes right now. We are doing a heathered blend. And I did speed this portion up to 3 times speed so that the video does not take 2 hours. But it's okay, you know. You get an idea of what's going on, and this is a longer class lesson bonus than per usual, but there's more to it than in the previous ones because there's more steps. And I wanted you to have a good idea of the full process. Now, this standard good grief, the standard Brother Drum Carder does not come with the packing brush and all of that. Now, I bought the accessories kit for the baby brother. That's why it has the packing brush and everything. But for this one, I just bought the drum carder and does not have the packing brush. So burnishing frequently is key to getting a solid bat that the layers don't just fly apart with. You can see on the drum where I'm splitting the bat, and I'm being very careful here, that the colors are not blended. They're just layered. If you have a finer toothed drum carder, or if you're concerned about damaging your carding cloth, do not use your doffer tool like I'm doing. Use a porcupine quill. Porcupine quills will not damage your drum carder, the cloth, or the tines that come out of the cloth. So I don't have a porcupine quill. I had one a long time ago and it broke, and I have never replaced it, which, bad Kim, I need to do that. So yes, there are multiple layers. The colors are stacked one on top of another, and that's what we want to start with. Now, here's bonus tip number 2, and that is when you have multiple bats. I have 2 right now, so I want to blend these 2 evenly. So you take bat A and bat B, you break them in half. You take 1/2 of bat A and 1/2 of bat B, and you mix them together, and I just unmixed them, but you're not supposed to do that. I got confused with what I was doing. So bat C is half bat A and half bat B. That's what you want. If you have 4, 5, 6 bats that you're wanting to do all homogeneous, the same color, then you'll want to divide your first bats into that many strips. Hope that makes sense. It's hard to explain. And here I was showing you just a second there, and I'll show you again better the striping in the strips. So if you wanted striped on the drum carder, you would put it through. You would open it up with the stripes facing you. But if you want to blend it, you lay it top to bottom so the stripes are stacked, and you open that up sideways. You want, for a blend like this, you want your fibers stacked the whole way through the carding process. And for a heathered blend like this also, where you're taking one color or 2 or 3, you're transforming your initial color into something different only through blending of different colors. Oh my gosh, that didn't make sense. If you're doing what I'm doing, then you want your layers of color to stay stacked the whole way through so that you get more and more mixing of color. If you have them packed standing upright next to each other and you put them through the drum carder like that, they're going to go on the drum carder in stripes. And you know, if stripes is what you want, then you want thoroughly blended fibers before you ever get to this point where you're creating your stripes. But that is for another lesson, another day, and actually I have a few YouTube videos about that. So you can go check those out if you're really curious. They're a bit on the older side, so you might have to search for them. But anyway, Be very careful as you go through this to make sure you've got your layers not side by side, but top to bottom. It's hard sometimes when you've got thin strips to figure out which way it goes. And then this drum carder, I have my liquor drum set a little distance away from the Swift, the big drum. And that extra space in between the two drums allows me to put thicker batches of wool through the carder at a time. If your drums are very close together, you're not going to be able to put that much fiber through at a time. So I have planned on filming a video about how to care for your drum carder, how to deep clean them, how to set the drums close together or farther apart, and have them evenly spaced, the pros and cons of this, and why you would do it, but have not gotten there yet. And that's kind of the goal for 2024. It's getting a bunch of these classes filmed that are in the queue. So breaking the bat again, small little nibbles of the Doffer tool to break your bat. And the Doffer tool is like a little ice pick, or I can't remember the other word. Awl? Yeah, awl. So I've seen people use knitting needles, and some drum carder companies, most drum carder companies have their own Doffer tools. I happen to really like this one. I like how long the tip is and the comfortable shape of the handle. So, I really enjoy working with Brother Drum Carder tools. They are very nice. You can see now that there is more blending throughout the bat than there was initially, which is what we're going for. We're going to do at least one more pass, possibly a couple more. Just keep going in this method until you have the desired blending level you're looking for. Every time you card your bats, divide them up again and mix up all your pieces and put it back through the drum carder. So again, half of bat A, half of bat B becomes the new bat. And I do that twice, but I only filmed one because why film everything, It's repetitive. So again, dividing each one 3 times because that's the thickness that fits really well through my drum carder. You will have to experiment with your own drum carder. It depends on the carding cloth. It depends on the company that you got the carder from, so who made it, manufacturer, whatever you want to call it. And it depends on how far apart your drums are. And if your fiber is pulling in crooked, that means that your drums are not set evenly apart. So, just a little freebie tip there. I love how this looks going on the drum carder. This is a new to me packing brush. I don't ever use that one, burnishing brush. But my dog brush that I was using broke. Both of them did. So I'm kind of stuck using the tool that came with my drum carder that I've never used before. Because why use something you paid a lot for when you've got something cheaper from Walmart that falls apart every time you turn around? Anyway, random rambling here. We're going to just keep layering these strips. I try to take a strip from bat A, a strip from bat B, a strip from bat A, a strip from bat B. Say that 10 times and see if it's not a tongue twister at the end. So layering bat A, bat B, bat A, bat B gets both the bats thoroughly blended so that they're approximately the same. And it's rinse and repeat. See that part of the drum carder got too full and the edges, like the middle got really full and then the edges were thin. So I have a little trick on how to fill up your drum carder evenly coming up shortly. Look at the nuances in this color now.
Like it's overall red, but there's little hints of black, which kind of looks purplish. This black has a very purple base, the black that I used, uh, which was surprising on creamy Tunis. You would think it would be more of a brown base. But anyway, you can see the pops of orange and the different depths of color. It's blending your own colors creates so much nuance and depth and just feel to your fiber. It's totally different than just dyeing it all one color and hoping the dye absorbs evenly because that hardly ever happens. So this is the final, I believe, the final pass through the drum carder. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I could have stopped already, but I kind of wanted it just a smidge more blended. I didn't want obvious sections of color. Because I have so many of these bats that have already blended. This was the last colorway I was putting together, and I wanted those to be more, what's the word? Obvious. But that's not the word I was looking for. I wanted them to be pops. Okay, here's a trick for getting your edges on your drum carder filled up. So I took a little piece of strip and I drafted it thin, and then I'm guiding it very carefully at the edge that's thinner. Put some of it on and then burnish and then decide if I need more. Feed some more on in that one spot. Burnish again. Just keep going like that until you're happy with the evenness around across the width of the drum. You have to be very, very careful in this part that you don't let the fiber fall off the edge of the drum carder because it can get tangled up in your gears, or rather the moving parts, which is why I need to take my carder apart and fix it because there's stuff caught on all the moving parts, and it just makes it harder to card, as well as sometimes the drive band will fall off because there's so much wool stuck in there it won't fit in the groove anymore. Ask me how I know. All right, as we wrap up this session with a final bat breaking little bit here, you can see the full nuances of color, how instead of being 5 or however many there were individual colors, it is now one mostly cohesive color. From a distance, it looks solid, but close up, you can see all the nuances. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a picture of the fibers we started this video with. And I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope you learned a lot from it and it was helpful. Don't forget, you can always ask questions and I will get answers to you as quickly as I can. I appreciate you joining me for this session, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.